All right, we're back. Video number 2, more detail on assignments. I'm your instructor, Frank Switzer, the captain of communication, the sultan of speech. I just have to do that now. Okay, anyway, so let's just talk about a little bit more about the assignments. If after this video, which should be the shortest of all the videos, so that's good news for you. If after this video you still have questions, man, talk to me, email me, message me, whatever. So let's talk first of all about these videos and the video acknowledgement assignments. So one of the things that I want you to know about doing an internet class, an online class, is that it is essential for you to slow down and read every document, every Canvas announcement, and every item that I ask you to read, and read it carefully and thoroughly so that you will do well in the class and do well on your assignments. There is something about the ethos of an online class that just makes you want to go faster. Research has shown that, and I know, and I've experienced that when I've taken online classes. You kind of feel like you just want to go faster. Online classes already save us a ton of time. If we were teaching this, if we were doing this in person, think about all the time that you and I would have to spend driving to campus, parking, walking to the classroom, hanging out, taking breaks, all of that stuff. This is so much shorter already. Do yourself a favor, slow down, read everything, and understand it, okay? It's also essential that you actively watch each of these videos. It will help you. One of the things I want to remind you about in terms of what you find on Canvas is I have everything in the assignments link for assignments. There is a modules link. I don't use the modules link. You can ignore that link. You never have to look at it. Just look at the assignments link. Obviously, you should look at the syllabus link. You should look at the announcements link. You can look at the grades link. But you don't need to worry about the modules link. Again, if you didn't get it clear during the last video, you need to turn in your assignments on time. If you don't turn them in or contact me after 10 days, I'm just going to assume that you've dropped the class and I'll withdraw you. And here's the thing, once I withdraw you in our system for Maricopa County, once I withdraw you, there is absolutely no going back. There's nothing anybody can do about getting you reinstated in the class. So turn in your assignments on time. Communicate with me, please. Here you go. I'll tell you a little story. I just think this is funny. I'm shocked at the number of college students who will email me after 2 weeks, just ghosting me for 2 weeks, complete silence, no assignments, nothing. And they will say, I'm sorry, I was out of town, I couldn't communicate to you. So what I am hearing when you say, I left town, I couldn't communicate with you, what I'm hearing is that Phoenix is the only city in the United States, nay, the world, that has internet. Apparently you went to Austin, Texas, and there's no internet in Austin, Texas. Or maybe you were in New York. There's no internet in New York. I was out of town. I couldn't communicate with you. It's not an excuse. We're online. You have your phone. You can communicate with me anytime you want. Please think through what you're saying to me, okay? Communicate with me. This is a communication class. Communicate with me. Cool. All right. It also might help you to know that in this class, because it's a public speaking class, I know that for some of you this is going to feel really weighty. This is a weighty class. This is a hard class. It's public speaking. But in reality, it's not all that cumbersome. Again, especially compared to other classes, and especially compared to the fact that we're not doing it in person. So if you keep up with the assignments, know your due dates, work on your assignments early, don't procrastinate, prepare diligently, you are going to kill it in this class. You're going to get an A. That's the key to getting an A in this class, is staying on top of things. Now, you do need to watch these videos closely and take notes, just like you're in class, because there will be questions on the video acknowledgement assignments that are based on the fact that you did actively and engagedly watch the video. So just consider the videos are replacing all the lectures that I would do in class. And again, because they're video lectures, they're going to be way shorter than what we would do in class because there's no interaction. There's a lot of material that ordinarily I might consider covering in class that I can't right now because we're online. So this is already a pretty decent deal for you. So jump in and take advantage of it. Listen, watch, and read carefully. You are required to watch a total of 4 videos. This is the second one. And answer some questions. Submit your answers to those questions either on Canvas or through an email to me by the due date in order to be eligible for the points. Each is worth 15 points. So that's the video acknowledgement assignments. The quizzes. You will have 2 quizzes in this class. Each is worth 40 points. Little inside baseball here for you. The second quiz is worth 40 points, but if you get everything correct on the second quiz, you'll actually get 45 points. So there's 5 points possible extra credit in that. All of the quiz questions are true, false, multiple choice, or fill in the blank, or on the last quiz, the second quiz, it's mostly matching. So again, I said this in the last video, functionally these quizzes are open book. You're online. I mean, I'm not going to know if you, and I don't care if you check. Get the right answers. Go find the answers and get them right. But make sure you complete them and submit them on or before the due date. The first quiz is about the many public speaking principles that I've already started to review in these videos and will review in the other 2 videos as well. So you won't take that first quiz until after the 4th video, and you'll have all access to the information in those quizzes by the end of the 4th video. The second quiz is on rhetorical devices. It's on figures of speech, literary techniques, whatever you prefer to call them. All of those names work. But mostly, like I said, it's a matching quiz. And for that quiz, what you need to do is read and study the document on figures of speech that I have posted in the announcements on Canvas in your section of the class. Read and study that document on rhetorical devices, literary devices. And make sure you read and study pages 46 and 47 in your textbook. Did I mention that you have to have the textbook? Good. And then again, make sure you submit the completed quizzes on time or before. And again, you could submit the quizzes, again, any way you like. Put it in an email to me or put it on Canvas. It doesn't matter. The speeches. So the next video, the 3rd video, is going to be a video about the 6-step guide. So you need to read and study pages 15 through 31 of the textbook. And then I'm going to also talk about and demonstrate using the 6-step guide. If you have taken COM 100, you already know about the 6-step guide, which means you're kind of already ahead of the game. That's really good, but you need the review. You need to use good transitions, and you need to have good main points, and you need good transitions between those main points. This might be the most important thing you need to hear about the speeches. And again, I'll talk more about what the speeches entail in terms of the assignments, but this is maybe the most important thing you need to hear. In order to grade you on your speeches, I will not be comparing you to other students in this class. I'm not looking for the best, most exciting, most charismatic, most awesome speakers in this class. I'm not comparing you to anybody else in this class, okay? You will not be graded on your ability to naturally entertain or charismatize, I just made up that word, or wow your audience. Although, like anyone else, I like speeches that are winsome and effective and competent. I do. They're much more interesting and fun to watch. But I'm not going to compare you for a grade. Your speeches are graded simply based on following the assignment. That's it. Did you follow the assignment? That's what I'm going to grade it on. That's what's important. Yes, be entertaining. Use humor. Be winsome. All of that. Yeah. The question I'm going to ask, though, for points is, did you follow the assignment? So study the assignments very carefully. On both the rough draft assignment and the final speech assignment, you will also see that there is a grading rubric at the bottom of those assignments that you can look at and understand exactly how I'm going to grade you and how you get your points on the assignment. So you should study those grading rubrics as well. So, again, diligently read and understand all aspects of the assignment, especially for the persuasive speech. Most of your the 3 of your speeches should have 3 main points, and I'll talk about that more in the next video, how to construct a speech with 3 main points. The persuasive speech, though, is required that you have 7 main points, and you'll see that again in the textbook. You need to follow that outline for the persuasive speech that's in the textbook. You will have 7 main points, and every main point is important to make sure you follow. Like I said, it doesn't hurt to be humorous and entertaining. I can appreciate that. I told you I was the 1997 National Toastmasters champion in after dinner speaking, which is a kind of an entertainment speech. But don't do humor or charisma as a substitute or a replacement or a cover for doing the assignment well. You need to do the assignment well. I want you to learn how to do the assignment. Topics. Now, if you watched the Andrew Stanton video, you should know that I am all about do what you know, use what you know. First of all, your autobiographical speech, that should be easy. You should know a little bit about yourself. Informative speech. During your informative speech, you should find something that you already know something about, something that you already have some level of expertise. Now, if you want to research something new, if you want to use that assignment as an opportunity to research something new and learn about it and present that to me, that's great, and I love that too. But there's probably something that you already know a little something about that you like and enjoy and that you're passionate about that you could go a little bit deeper on and you could present a really effective informative speech on. Some examples of that. Years ago, teaching COM 100, I had a student. In COM 100, you have to give an informative and a persuasive speech at the end of the semester. And I had a student come to me, and he said, hey, I want to do my informative speech on Helvetica font. On a font. And I literally looked at him and said, why? Why would you do that? Why would anybody want to give an informative speech on a font? That just sounds awful. And he said, I am a graphic design artist, and Helvetica font is very important to the graphic design industry, and I understand the history of Helvetica font, and it's actually pretty interesting. And literally, I mean, one of my gifts is sarcasm. We liked each other, so we had this relationship. And I said, well, pal, it's your grade. Do whatever you want. Years later, I am still touting that speech, that informative speech on Helvetica font as one of the best student speeches I have heard in my 25-year career teaching public speaking. It was phenomenal. I had in class one time, I had a little bit older student. He had been a certified residential real estate appraiser for 17 years, had his own business. He gave an informative speech on how to do an appraisal, an accurate appraisal on your own house without paying an appraiser. Eventually, you have to pay the appraiser if you want to get a loan from a bank. But it's helpful to know how to appraise your own house so that you can know whether or not you even have a shot at getting the loan at the bank, so you don't have to waste the time. And he did a speech on that, and it was fantastic. I had a certified massage therapist give a speech on reflexology. Fantastic. Very often, and in fact, in these classes that I'm teaching this semester, it's possible that we have students from the high school next to PVCC, is it EEAC? I know, I've been here 21 years and I still don't, I'm sorry, and I don't say this pejoratively, I refer to it as the horsey school. I know it's not just a horsey school, but it's the equine and anyway. We have high school students in some of our classes, so we may have some high school students. Some of the best speeches I've heard are from people who are into horses, and they've given speeches on barrel racing and on taking care of horses properly. Some of the best speeches have been on horses. So do what you know. That's a really good piece of advice from Andrew Stanton. Okay. If you want help, maybe you have a terrific topic. You love your topic, but you're not sure how to outline it. That is one thing that I think I'm pretty good at. I can take a topic and pretty quickly I can help you outline it in an effective and provocative way. So I can help with that. Persuasive speeches, there's got to be things that you're passionate about there. I had speeches last semester on why you should wear a mask, why you shouldn't wear a mask. You realize there's two schools of thought on that. We've had speeches on why the riots were correct, why the riots were incorrect. Persuasive speeches on that. We've had persuasive speeches on embryonic stem cell research, all kinds of stuff. Here's what you don't want to do on the persuasive speeches. You don't want to give a speech on why Steve Nash was a better point guard than John Stockton. That's not really what we're looking for here. We're looking for something much more academic. I might agree with you that Nash was better than Stockton or not, but we're looking for something more academic. And we want something on a policy, like a policy statement. If you want help from me with persuasive speech topics, again, I'm very happy to help you with that as well. Take care when you video record your speeches that it's done in a way that the lighting is good and the sound is good, so I can both see and hear you. The aesthetics of the speeches are helpful. And make sure that you follow the assignment requirements. And remember, that last speech, that speech of tribute, is going to be a speech that's manuscripted. So you're going to actually have to write out everything rather than kind of writing an outline. Pay attention to those rough draft assignments. Pay very careful attention to those assignments that are due before each of the final speeches are due. That will help you tremendously to present and submit a fine final product in your speeches. There is a self-evaluation paper for your informative speech. So this is your second speech. You're going to write a self-evaluation paper. So you're kind of halfway through your speeches now. It's a good time to stop and reflect. And I want you to reflect on your informative speech. So I want you to review your video and reflect on how you believe the speech went using the statements, questions, and insights from pages 108 and 109 in the textbook and your own thought process on how you think the speech went, and then write your paper. And then in the paper, and the assignment clearly spells this out, but I'll give it to you anyway. In your self-evaluation paper, you're going to answer 4 questions. What went well in your speech? What do you think was really effective in your speech? Next paragraph. What didn't go so well? Where did you have some hang-ups, some trouble? What do you think wasn't that effective? In your third paragraph, in the body of the paper, you're going to write, how might you improve for your next speech? Now you've got 2 speeches under your belt. How might you improve your persuasive speech now, learning what you've learned from the first 2 speeches? And then the fourth paragraph, the one that I'm interested in all the paragraphs, but this is the one that I'm probably going to be the most interested in, is I want you to reflect about what you are learning about yourself as a public speaker. Start talking, just do a little self-assessment, do a little self-reflection, kind of like, I think I'm pretty good at this. I'm kind of liking this. I didn't think I would like this class, and now I'm liking the class. Or I thought this would be my favorite class, and it sucks. Whatever it is, let me know. Do some self-reflection. 1 paragraph for each of those questions. Then you need a paragraph of introduction, a paragraph of conclusion, 6 total paragraphs. That's actually going to be a question you have to answer. 6 total paragraphs in this assignment. And your assignment, this evaluation, needs to be 2 pages, typed or word processed, double-spaced, 12-point font, 1-inch margins all around. Why so many details about that? 24 years ago, I was teaching at Grand Canyon University, and I assigned it was a different class, and I assigned a 6-page paper towards the end of the semester. And that's all I said. I said the paper needs to be 6 pages. I actually had a couple of students turn in papers that were triple spaced. They used 24-point font, and they used 2-inch margins all the way around. These students worked so hard at not having to work that it probably took them just as long to not work as it did for them to just write the paper. So I learned then and there I have to spell all this stuff out. So 2 pages, word process, double space, 12-point font, 1-inch margins around the edges. And this self-evaluation, which should be cake, which should be easy, it should be the easiest 30 points you'll ever get in a class, is worth 30 points. And it will be graded based on the adherence to the requirements that are listed in the assignment, as well as proper attention to appropriate and good academic grammar, spelling, formatting, and narrative organization and flow. Don't write your paper as if you're texting someone. I call it textese. Don't use textese in academic papers. You need to write academically. You need to learn how to write academically. And again, you can find the instructions on Canvas. So you have the video acknowledgement assignments. You have the syllabus acknowledgement, which you should have already done. Video acknowledgement assignments. You have the 2 quizzes. You have the 4 rough drafts. And you have the 4 speeches. You have the self-evaluation paper. So that's essentially what you're looking at. You have very detailed instructions in these assignments as well. So look carefully at those. And if all of that doesn't help, contact me and I can help you as well. At least I can attempt to. Pay attention to all the due dates again. I want to say that again. Remember, listen, here you go. And I'm saying this with a deep level of compassion, but also with a deep level of honesty in terms of just confronting you in the realities of life. No one forced you to register for this class or any other class. I know that most of you work. I know that most of you have important relationships that you're trying to develop. I know that you have a life outside of school. In fact, if you don't, I feel sorry for you. I understand that life is busy, things happen. I get all of that. But you still registered for this class. You have a responsibility to do the class well now. You're spending money on it. You're spending time. You're putting in effort. You need to figure out how to get the assignments done in the proper amount of time. Don't procrastinate. Take the assignment seriously and do well on the assignments. My goal is at the end of every semester, everybody gets an A. That's never happened before, but I would love to see that happen at some point. One last thing. Again, I talked last video about how every semester I've run into this. Somebody comes and says, do we really need the text? Yes, you really need the textbook. So that's the answer to that question. Also, pretty much every semester, I'll have somebody, sometimes a couple of students, who will eventually contact me and they'll say, hey, would it be okay if I just turned in all of the assignments the last week of the class? And the answer is no, it's not okay. That would be my worst nightmare, having to grade all of your assignments and try to give you feedback so that you can make adjustments before you do other assignments during the last. It's just a night. No, that doesn't work. You can't wait until the last week to do all the assignments. You must do the assignments in their scheduled times and turn them in on time for the due dates. Have I hit that hard enough? Those of you who are still watching the video. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions, read the assignments on Canvas. You can email me or message me. That's it for the second video. Caleb, how long was that? Like 22 minutes? See, that was much better, right? See you for video number 3 coming up soon.